What's cracking, you turd ticklers? Zap here. And first and foremost, before I get into this video, I want to say I apologize. As you can hear in my voice, I'm not 100%, although my voice is getting a lot better. However, my chest, I still have a really bad chest cough, and it still hurts to cough. So if I end up coughing in your ear here and there throughout the video, just try to ignore it. I'm going to try my best not to cough in your ear at all. But if I, clear my throat, or if I end up coughing, turning my face to the side or whatever, just try to bear with me. I'm trying to get through this video. So I'm actually going to cut this a lot shorter than I really wanted to. Now, as you can see with the title of the video, as well as the gameplay that you're watching, I'm going to be discussing the Battlefield Hardline beta and giving my first impressions. Now, with it being a first impressions video, I don't really see a need to go too much into detail with it, so I'm just going to cover a couple things. And those things are the graphics and the gameplay of it, because that's really what matters now, right? It's a multiplayer beta, so that's really all we need to discuss. So, let's go ahead and talk first about the graphics. The graphics are still really good. DICE and the Frostbite engine are still working wonders. One of my favorite games to look at still is Battlefield Bad Company 2, and the things that they've done with Battlefield 4 and now with Hardline are just showing great progress with that engine. And the game, although it's not too big of a leap ahead of Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline's visuals do not disappoint at all. Um, the only instances are, some of the rocks kind of look they look hella fake, like in some of the desert areas, or in the rocky areas of the desert stage that we get to play on in the beta. it just the rocks just look a little flat. But overall, for the most part, the visuals are very nice to look at. It's a very clean looking game, and I like that a lot. So Battlefield Hardline, excuse me, Battlefield Hardline, uh, although it's not pushing the envelope with visuals, it still, holds up in comparison to a lot of other games. And it does run at a solid 60 frames per second. Now, I'm not entirely sure if it's 60 frames per second locked all the way through, but I personally had absolutely no issues with frame drops, delay, or anything like that. No stuttering. Um, but, the game did run at a solid 1080p, 60 frames per second. Now, for the sake of this upload, it's only going to be in 720p, 60 frames per second, but change the video quality so that you can watch this game at 60 frames per second. It is really, really clean and beautiful to look at. Now, on to the meat and potatoes of the video. We're going to talk about the gameplay. The beta actually gives us 3 modes to play. We have Conquest Large, which is, essentially what you would expect it to be from a Battlefield game. Conquest, essentially domination, control the majority of the control points on the map, kill your opponents, drain their tickets down to 0, and you win the match. 64 players, good stuff. Then we have Heist. Heist is probably the main thing that I want to play in this game when I finally get the retail version. Heist is basically just cops and robbers. As the robbers, you have to try and infiltrate the bank, crack open the vault, steal the 2 bags of money, and get them to each of their extraction points, right? By helicopter, and you guys win. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, the cops have to try and stop you. Now, with the heist mode, at least on this particular map, there were absolutely no vehicles involved, and I loved it. I love the fact that there were absolutely no vehicles involved, and it makes the gameplay a little bit more urban to me. And I love it. I love the whole concept of the heist game type. It's really fun, and it's very Payday like. If you guys have played Payday the Heist, it's very Payday-esque, and it's a whole lot of fun to play for me personally. And then last but not least, we have the bastard child of all 3 playlists, and it's called Hotwire. Hotwire is something that can be totally forgotten. It could be scrapped out of the final game, and I don't think anybody would really miss it. Essentially, Hotwire is just conquest domination, except instead of controlling particular points on the map, those points are vehicles, and you have to drive around this big ass map, essentially in a circle, to collect points. And it's almost as if they're trying to force the whole cop chase aspect on you by saying, hey, if you want to do cop chases, we're going to make a game type that forces you to do cop-like chases, and, you're going to enjoy it. And I personally do not enjoy it. It seems very tacked on, that game type. You just took a game type that you already had and made the control points vehicles that you have to drive. Like, they could have used that slot of a game type for something totally different, something totally fresh and innovative, utilizing the cops and robbers gameplay that you guys are, going for in this installment of the game. But instead we get Hotwire, which is absolute hot boo boo. And I honestly don't think that the game type itself is going to last very long once the full retail version comes out. People are going to be playing Heist and Conquest, and if they bring back Rush, people are going to be playing Rush. Like, why the hell would you need to play Hotwire? That shit is ass. But I kind of went on a little bit of a rant there. But, overall, the gameplay is your standard Battlefield fare. Just with a little bit of cops and robbers and more urban twist. I hope they do more inner city maps. The map that you play when you do Heist, it is absolutely a blast to play. So many different vantage points, so many different ways to play, so many different ways to, execute different strategies to gain the upper hand. And um, I'm really hoping that the full retail release, you know, complements that with more maps that are just like it, and the whole concept of cops and robbers, it's a little bit cheesy, but for Battlefield it works very, very well. My only gripe is the voice acting and how cliche everything comes across while you're playing it. It's like a really corny TV cop drama. And it could do a little bit without the corniness and the cheesiness. That campaign is going to be full of garbage one-liners. But yeah, my impressions on the Battlefield Hardline beta, pretty solid beta. My only big issue with it was the download and install time. But it's whatever. I got to play it now, and I'm actually having a whole lot of fun with it. So hope you guys enjoyed this first impressions. Let me know what you guys think if you're playing the Battlefield Hardline beta. And I'm gonna go ahead and get some sleep because I am zoning out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.